welcome to Food Review UK. My name is Stuart and this is Top of the Hops, where I drink beer and tell you what I think of it. Today I am featuring a beer by a brewery that we've had on Top of the Hops a lot. This is a Brewdog beer. So we've done quite a lot of Brewdog beers. Going back to the beginning of Top of the Hops, some of the first beers I had were Brewdog. Brewdog have been around in supermarkets now for a while. They're pretty ubiquitous. You can get them everywhere. Some people have got a bit of a downer on them now because they see them as being big beer, being corporate, but they're still, my opinion is that without Brewdog, I don't think we'd have the current craft beer boom that we've got now. This is Cybernaut, so this is one of their seasonal releases that they do. So a few times a year they'll bring out a beer that'll just be with us for a few months. I haven't had this before. It's a new wave Session IPA. Session IPA is a funny name. It's 4.5%. For me, it's not an IPA if it's 4.5%. Session IPA is a ridiculous name for a beer. If it's 4.5% and it's got the similar flavour characteristics as an IPA, it's a pale ale. Does my head in that. But anyway, Session IPA. What am I hoping for? I'm hoping for hoppy, refreshing, nice, delicate. I've got a 660ml bomber of it here. For preference, I'd rather have my IPAs or my pale ales in cans. But this is all it was available in. What do we say? Say hello to this new wave Session IPA. Cranked up the wheat and oats, turned down the ABV, creating a juicy equilibrium. Sounds good. It's a beer that has all the taste of a New England IPA, Nebraska IPA, correct, but allows a more sessionable delivery. Stone fruits collide, mango, peach and apricot, laid with cosmos of grassy and pine dust notes. Smooth, fresh and juicy with a deft finish. Deft or daft? It's either going to have a deft finish or a daft finish. Well, we'll find out, won't we? Cybernaut. Cybernaut, I believe, is someone who spends a lot of time on the internet. So is this beer aimed at people who spend a lot of time on the internet? Or is this beer supposed to taste like people who spend a lot of time on the internet? Here we go. It's pouring into the dirty glass, as always. A nice, light straw colour with a nice carbonated head. It smells hoppy and fresh and delicious, actually. A slight touch of armpit, which is an odd thing to say about a beer, but there are certain hops that give you a slight touch of armpit, and I very much like that flavour, which is strange. It says a lot more about me than it does about the beer. But maybe this does taste of Cybernaut then. People who spend a lot of time on the internet don't spend as much time showering as they should. I understand the irony of me on YouTube saying that about people who are on the internet watching a video. Please do not take that as a personal offence. But, I mean, we could probably all shower more than we do, 3-4 times daily. That's alright, bit thin. Doesn't have the same flavour characteristic as it does on the aroma. That initial flavour that I got, that initial aroma that I got was super promising. I was thinking I'd found myself for £2.80 for a bomber of this, thinking I'd found myself an absolutely banging beer. What I've got is a perfectly drinkable beer that I'll happily drink. So we've got a nice hoppy bitterness, beer in the moustache, some savoury notes, which again I like. Some people don't like those savoury notes in a beer. I've heard beers, particularly beers by Cloudwater, being described as a touch oniony. I quite like that, but again, it says more about me than it does about the beer. That's alright, I've drank beers this week that have been twice the price of this for maybe a 440ml can, and that have been of a similar flavour profile and similar quality, I would say, which is says an awful lot for this beer by Brewdog. I'm guessing it's nice and fresh. These seasonal beers do tend to be nice and fresh because they're only out for a certain amount of time. Best before date on this is the 19th of January next year. So I'm hoping that this is pretty fresh. It certainly tastes nice and fresh. But I'd recommend that, If you're in I got this from a Morrison's and they were on 2 for a £5. So I got this and a bottle of Dead Pony Club. 1.2 litres, 1.3 litres of beer for a £5. I'm pretty happy with that. It's always vegan. There we go. Not that I'm vegan, but it's nice to know, isn't it, that if I did decide I was going to be vegan, that I've got this beer open to me. Right, should we give it a rating then? waffling on. I think must be a daft finish because after drinking it, I've kind of gone off on a bit of a tangent, haven't I, about showering and use of the internet and beer that tastes of onion. Cybernaut by the Brewdog. I am going to give a very low, but 4 stars indeed. 4 stars, a low 4. It's a decent beer, that. I'll keep an eye out for this. I'll be tempted to fill the fridge. I'd like to try it in a can. Maybe get a few cans of it, stick them in the fridge. That's a nice beer. Thank you very much for watching Top of the Hops. Cheers. I'll see you soon. Stay safe. Look after each other. Be nice to each other.